Hey everybody, welcome back to the Thinking Crypto channel. Guys, what a bullish time in the market. Bitcoin hit $40,000, huge pump, and we continue to see that bullish momentum. We're going to talk about Goldman Sachs and the ETFs they just filed, crypto ETFs to be specific. Big news. We also got some clarity directly from Amazon on their crypto plans. We've been talking about it for the past 3 days. Well, we have an official response on some of the rumors, and I want to share that with you guys. Also, we have in Singapore, the majority of the population own Bitcoin and crypto. We're just seeing mainstream adoption, guys. It's growing and growing. We also have news that it's one of the Asian markets, a publicly listed company is looking to be the largest Bitcoin miner there. So we're seeing a Bitcoin mining boom across the world. A lot of the miners left China. They went to other countries, including the United States. So I want to break that down. We're also going to talk about Tether. They are in trouble and what that means for the price of Bitcoin and the market moving forward. Now, before we get into it, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment below, and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. It helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. Guys, this video is brought to you by OKCoin Crypto Exchange, which has low fees. Why pay high fees? You can buy, sell, and trade your crypto at low fees. Save your money or use it towards the assets. Be sure to sign up, link in the description. Also, be sure to sign up for my free weekly newsletter, All Crypto Insights and Knowledge, No Spam. Let's take a look at the market here, guys. The Bitcoin, after hitting $40,000, seeing a bit of a pullback, which is expected, right? Here in the daily chart, you look at it, it's just green candles on the way up. Now, if you look at this at the on the hourly chart, you see some green candles, but you see a correction here. So we'll see how this plays out. Nothing goes up in a straight line. We had a huge pump, the single largest gain in a single day, I should say, since the bull run that we were when we were heading up to $64,000. So be patient, but I do think we got the bullish momentum back. The bulls are in control. And as you can see here, it's green across the board for the market from a 24-hour perspective and a 7-day perspective. So looking very bullish. Plan B, who is the creator of the Bitcoin stock to flow model, tweeted the following: to reconfirm, on-chain signal still indicates this bull market is far from over. 64K was not the top. This is in line with the stock to flow model X, of course. So bullish. This is a macro level chart that I've been sharing with you guys for years. I tried to point you to this to not look at the daily, hourly, weekly chart, but rather hang your hat on the macro level charts. What has been the cycles over the past years? How's the trend playing out from a macro level, right? And that can tell a more truer and better story as to where we're headed. Now, Raoul Pal, macro investor who was formerly at Goldman Sachs, and he's very bullish on crypto, he tweeted the following in line with what I'm talking about here. He said, just an update of the favorite crypto charts. Here is the log chart parallel of Bitcoin now versus 2013. Still fits decently well. And essentially what's about to happen, guys, is Bitcoin is going to double peak like it did in 2013, as we've talked about on the channel. Raul said here, and here is the non-log version, pretty much perfect from a contextualization standpoint. So you see the similar patterns that as far as movements right now to what took place in 2013. Finally, he said here, let's see, and here is ETH now versus Bitcoin in 2017. Also pretty decent. So we're seeing very similar correlations. Is it exactly and perfectly aligned? No, but very close, right? And he ends it off saying here, regardless of the drama on Twitter, Tether, China, ESG, shitcoin scam, Elon, everything is normal in the crypto world and just moving along Metcalfe's law adoption curve. Remember when I told you guys about Metcalfe's law? Network effect, guys. Forget about Bitcoin and crypto for a second. Look at what happened with social networks, Twitter, Facebook, and so on and so forth. That is an example of Metcalfe's law, and that itself brings value to the network in addition to utility, right? So now that network effect is playing out with money and assets. amazing the time we live in, right? So if you don't know what Metcalfe's law is, go read it up, guys. Spend some time and it will help you to understand what is taking place with this asset class. Now, here's some big news, my friends. Goldman Sachs applies for a DeFi ETF. You don't say. They applied for a Bitcoin ETF. Now a DeFi ETF. Guys, it's going to start with Bitcoin and then it's going to go to Ethereum and DeFi and everything else, basket of currencies and the top 10 crypto ETFs, so on and so forth. So the filing joins over a dozen Bitcoin and Ether ETF applications. I don't think Goldman Sachs would just throw their hat in the ring if they weren't expecting approvals this year. And I think the SEC is under pressure, as we've been talking about, not just from the Ripple XRP lawsuit, but from a Bitcoin ETF standpoint. Gary Gensler, we'll see what he does. Today, he actually got an official Twitter account. Get ready, Gary. Your DMs and mentions on Twitter are going to blow up. I don't know if that's a good idea for him to be on there, but he's holding up some big things for the crypto market. He's the chairman. So my goodness, he's going to be under fire for a while. But let me give you the details. Investment banking giant Goldman Sachs has filed an application with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for an exchange-traded fund, also known as an ETF, that would offer exposure to public companies in decentralized finance and blockchain around the globe. Sparse on details, the filing noted that the fund would invest at least 80% of its assets into companies that advance blockchain technology and the digitization of finance. The Goldman Sachs Innovative DeFi and Blockchain Equity ETF, the fund seeks to provide investment results that closely correspond before fees and expenses to the performance of the solo active decentralized finance and blockchain index, the filing said. Guys, you're seeing the biggest Wall Street institutions or whales, whatever you want to call them, are getting involved in crypto. It's amazing what is taking place. And everybody's trying to get an ETF. And I think obviously the coveted Bitcoin ETF is the one that's the holy grail right now. And then they're also filing other ones like a DeFi, Ethereum ETFs. And it's going to go down the list, right? You're going to get a Litecoin, an Chainlink, an XRP ETF, and so on and so forth. Now, guys, we've been talking about Amazon, and there's been a lot of speculation and rumors. Now, the one thing we do know that is confirmed is they are looking to hire an executive who has crypto and blockchain experience because they want to explore how they're going to use crypto for payments and so on and so forth. But a spokesperson came out and said, no, we have no plans to accept Bitcoin payments. The speculation that has ensued around our specific plans for cryptocurrencies is not true. Now, you got to go into the details here. Remember what we talked about in a video a couple of days ago. They are still using Ethereum as their one of the solutions for their blockchain management solutions. They are still hiring a person with cryptocurrency experience, and the job listing is out there. So they are getting involved, and they are already involved. Whether they accept crypto as payments right now, I don't know. It doesn't look like it, but could they do that later this year? Sure. But, they're not going to just come out and say, yeah, that's true and whatever it is. But let me give you some more details. Notwithstanding our interest in the space, so they are interested in the space, the speculation that has ensued around our specific plans for cryptocurrencies is not true. A spokesperson for Amazon told CoinDesk by email Monday, we remain focused on exploring what this could look like for customers shopping on Amazon. And as I talked about in the 3 examples, one is that they could put Bitcoin on their balance sheet, so not necessarily accept it as payment. 2, they can launch their own crypto, Prime Coin. And 3, yes, they could accept crypto as a payment. I don't think they'll just do Bitcoin. I think they'll do more than one, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on and so forth. Will they, once again, the timeline for these things, I don't know. But I know for sure the facts that we have is they're endorsing Ethereum. They have a page about Ethereum on their website for their blockchain management solutions, and they're looking to hire people with crypto experience. So those are the 2 facts that we have right now. So we shall see how things progress, guys. But I think every company will eventually have to move in this direction because this is the new asset class and it's getting adoption. Now, check this out. 43% of Singapore residents own Bitcoin or crypto. This is according to a survey called the Independent Reserve Cryptocurrency Index. So it comes as no surprise. We talked about a stat the other day that Bitcoin is 3 times more adopted than it was in 2018 in the United States. And people are less skeptical of it, right? The knowledge, the understanding, the mainstream discussions are happening. And as we've been covering on this channel, we have celebrities tweeting about it, right? Busta Rhymes, Mike Tyson, variety of people from all walks of life and industries, and whether it be music, acting, entrepreneurs, everybody's getting in. You have NFL players, basketball players, Tom Brady, of course, who are now talking about crypto. It's amazing what's happening. And they have millions of followers. So obviously they have a trickle-down effect. These people who follow them will learn about crypto. So check this out, guys. Thai Telecom JTS to install 50,000 mining machines before the next Bitcoin halving. The company plans to have 5% of the total global mining capacity. Wow. Now, a couple of things. Before the next halving, that is 4 years from now. They are playing the long game. And if you've seen my cash out plan and video, there's crypto I'm holding long term. Like I'm going to have a whole Bitcoin or more than one Bitcoin for my daughter. And I'm not cashing that out. That's going to be for her when she gets older. Yes, am I taking profits on the way up? Of course. I've been transparent. I want to pay my mortgage off. I want to use it to start a business and so on and so forth, right? I'm not putting that money into fiat to sit in the bank and get depleted by inflation, right? So just hear me out on that, right? Before you guys fire off, oh man, you shouldn't be cashing out, blah, blah, blah. I'm putting the money to work. So it's amazing that these companies are looking to set up Bitcoin mining, and they want to be big in the Asian markets here. So let me give you some more details. The Stock Exchange of Thailand listed subsidiary of Jasmine International called Jasmine Telecom Systems has announced ambitious Bitcoin mining plans. JTS plans to become the largest Bitcoin miner of the 10 nations comprising the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So Asian markets, of course. Bullish, guys. And this is what's great about this asset class and why I think it's going to be the greatest asset class ever, because it is borderless. Anyone from any walk of life, if they have internet connection and even if they put $10 into Bitcoin, they are part of the asset class. There hasn't been anything like that before, guys. And there's been markets that are just specifically, like you have certain stocks are only specific to certain markets. If you're in the United States or you're in Hong Kong, whatever it is. Now this is open to anyone, all from any walks of life. You could be rich, poor, whatever it is. This is amazing, and it's on the blockchain. It's hard cap, so the valuations, the prices are going to be just enormous. It's going to be amazing. Crypto ATM installations have increased over 70% this year. So we've been talking about this different various crypto companies and ATM companies, I should say, putting up ATMs and kiosks across different stores. We talked about the news about Circle K and Bitcoin Depot. So we're going to see this everywhere now in malls and stores. We're going to see a lot of companies and businesses accept crypto. It's happening, guys. The on and off ramps being set up. So the growth compares with a jump of almost 120% for all 2020, according to the data from Coin ATM Radar. So I'm not going to go too much into this. It's pretty straightforward. It speaks for itself, guys. You're going to start going to your local stores and malls. You're going to see crypto ATMs. I'm already seeing it, right? And it's happening around the globe. Now, guys, some not so great news. DOJ reportedly investigates crypto company Tether for possible bank fraud. Now, a couple of things. If you've been a subscriber to this channel, we talked about the cleanup of the crypto market before we can go to new all-time highs, before a Bitcoin ETF can get approved. When you have Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan here, they're not going to allow the wild, wild west anymore. Tether, with their the New York Attorney General, in the lawsuit they had there was like some settlement, and okay, you guys have met the whatever, but now it seems the DOJ is going after him. We'll see what comes out of this, because is some of this FUD? I believe so. Is there some legitimacy to this Tether situation? I think so. So, two things can be true, right? And I think there is, where there's smoke, there's fire. I do think Tether may have some reserve issues. So I keep it real with you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I think they have done some stuff fishy in the past. Now, is their entire set of currency and reserves completely not back? Of course not, right? But I think there's certainly a percentage, and I think there's a cleanup. Like I said, I named it the other day when I think I was talking about Binance. Tether is getting cleaned up. Bitcoin mining is getting cleaned up, and they targeted Binance as the largest exchange globally to get cleaned up, and Tether again. So don't be scared. Don't worry. This is the cleanup, because the institutions are here. I've jokingly made this scenario up years ago where when I said Fidelity and these Goldman Sachs are coming in, what do you think they're going to do? First call, hey, DC politician and regulator, go after Tether, go after Binance. We're not going to allow this stuff to happen. This is how the game's played, and there's campaign donations, there's lobbying a part of that. So when I say these things, you have to put on your political thinking cap, your business thinking, and see what is happening in the landscape, how the world works right now. And they are going to go after Tether and make sure it's cleaned up. So hopefully their books and everything are aligned. Now, Flare Networks update. I did a video where I talked about I was disappointed. I certainly want my tokens. I wish, it's not a matter of, okay, give me my money now, but rather don't set dates and then you don't hit them. That's not good, especially when you're continually promoting this and you set a timeline and you kind of last minute. June ended and then we still didn't get our distribution, and all of a sudden, hey, it's delayed another 2 months. It's not great user experience and customer service, right? I keep it real with you guys, but am I still excited for the airdrop? Of course, it's free money. But I hope that the Flare team does a better job of planning and communication and setting timelines. So they tweeted the following today: all exchanges that are supporting the distribution of Flare will also receive this Songbird token or whatever to the same address that they provided to the Flare distribution, but with a different chain ID. They can distribute the SGB to their customers when and if they feel comfortable to do so. So this is kind of wonky, like it's up to the exchange. I don't know, man. It's getting a little bit crazy, but let's see. Once again, it's free money, but I am annoyed and disappointed on this. I was looking forward to the distribution, but we'll see what happens, right? We shall see, my friends. Guys, what do you think about this news? Do you think Bitcoin's going to keep going up here? Obviously, massive pump. If you saw my video on Twitter earlier, I talked about what caused this, the short squeeze, obviously the bullish news, and Bitcoin, I think, needs to go over 41,000, hold some support levels there for this rally to really validate itself. So yes, it has to validate itself. So guys, let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, share this video, and I'll talk to you all later.